Every 10 years, the U.S. government takes on the monumental task of counting the entire U.S. population. The data collected becomes the leading source of information regarding the nation's people and economy. It's also used to determine the distribution of congressional seats and the allocation of over $400 billion in federal funds to local and state governments for neighborhood improvements, public health, education, transportation, and more. Global Hue was tasked to engage and drive participation among some of the hardest to count during Census 2010, the Hispanic segment. After extensive research conducted by our planning team in conjunction with Draft FCB, the Hispanic population was divided into 5 subsegments, but we strategically chose to focus on 3 subsegments based on their mindsets and our ability to have the strongest impact on them. 32% of the segment are recent immigrants who don't feel they are part of the fabric of this country. They are unaware they have a voice, and it counts. 21% of the segment are less acculturated Hispanics that live day to day and want to see the census benefit them and those around them directly. 14% of the segment are acculturated Hispanics that think participating is the right thing to do for the future of their community and their children. The country was facing unprecedented challenges from a social, political, and economic spectrum. Confidentiality concerns, lack of trust in government, language barriers. The obstacles were countless. We had to move them past their fears, particularly with the less acculturated Hispanic. To reach everyone seemed impossible. We needed them to engage with the effort and motivate each other. Our answer was to shift the voice of Census from a U.S. government institution to us, transforming a government initiative into a people's movement. Our campaign, Está en nuestras manos, and the thinking behind it resonated and tested so well across all segments that our creative approach became the total market platform for the 2010 Census campaign. Some of our in-language creative was so compelling that it was adapted for the general market. Our media team identified culturally relevant ways to get our message across to our segment via traditional and non-traditional means.
Our participation in the 2010 census determines how funds will be used to support.
We leveraged every relationship we had, and we made sure that everyone we had to reach felt safe and engaged. As a result of our work, 3/4 of Hispanics, regardless of their immigration status, felt comfortable sharing their personal information, compared to 67% of the general market. Due to the effectiveness of all our efforts, the 2010 Census campaign paid for itself more than 5 times over. We took the 2010 census in our hands, and we all won.